is just my favorite, and he's back. 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, record-breaking wide receiver / superhero, Megatron, proud member of the Pride of Detroit, all-time Lions great. How are you? Get in here.
Doing great. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you again. Sad I missed you in Detroit. Can't wait to get into all of it. Tom Brady gets roasted yesterday. I mean, they gave it to him, Calvin. They did. They had all these comedians. All Peyton Manning came out and Belichick roasted him, and like it was heavy. They came after his ex-wife, like the whole nine. If you were getting roasted in front of millions of people, what would be like? Who would you be most worried about on stage on the dais that would come up and start talking about you?
Either Nate Burleson or anybody in my family.
Why Nate?
Man, Nate knows too much.
And Nate will go there. Nate will go there just for the moment. I think you're right. That's what Hamilton and I were talking about. I go, Nate would absolutely destroy Megatron in that sort of situation. It'd be pretty. Do you think Snoop Dogg would be at your roast?
Oh man, yeah, Snoop. Yeah, of course we should have. Same name.
What do you think you would get roasted about the most? Like they came after Tom for Deflategate and Giselle and all that. What would they roast you about the most, do you think?
Probably the whole debacle in Chicago. I think that was probably the biggest thing, one of the biggest things I had.
Yeah, they'd probably dig into that a little bit. There was a lot of talk about rings last night. I know you didn't get to see it, but Randy Moss was great as he is. Everybody was just lighting him up for not having a ring. And he himself kept talking about when he was on at the mic about not having a ring. So I sort of wanted to ask you, because you also, I mean, you don't have a ring, but I don't know if I believe that you care that much. What does not having a ring mean to you?
I mean, that's what you get hyped for. It's what you get up for at the beginning of every season. And what drives you at the beginning of every season is a whole reset. It's a whole new opportunity for each and every team and each and every player to go out there and, and shine and put a good story on camera for themselves. But, in Detroit, it's unfortunate, and for my story, not being able to have one, I'm just fortunate enough to be able to, put out the kind of play that I did that ended me up in the Hall of Fame. It's tough not to be able to share that kind of that moment or that 1 year with your team that I imagine every team has at the end of each season.
And you're kind of like Randy in that way, where Randy looks around and he goes, Edelman, Gronk, Brady, and you say Stafford, Reggie Bush, Sue, like these guys sort of have a ring. I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about the background of it, but I was just thinking about it this morning, like, did you chase a ring? Do you feel like like with the Lions, like Randy left and went to try making something else happen? Like, were they just not willing to let you go try to chase a ring?
No, I think, when it came to the time for me to re-sign in Detroit, that was a big part of me re-signing in Detroit. I knew we had some key figures that could help us get to that ring. Obviously not talking about myself. We had Matthew, obviously, what he did. We had Suit. He's been on, I think, a couple himself. We've had other characters that went on to win Super Bowls on that team, so we had the pieces, it's just a matter of, like I say, that getting it all over to meld together.
Yeah, the draft was insane. If you were playing there now, you probably would win a ring, because looks like that's where the Lions are headed. You're so supportive of them and the city. It's amazing to see. What was it like? Just tell me what the draft was like. Barry Sanders, you, Eminem, Jared Goff, Aiden Hutchinson, everybody backstage.
Man, that was so cool. Eminem, Goodell, all of us just back there bantering, having a good time. Just being able to have that camaraderie at the end of the day. That's what we miss. That's what everybody misses after the game is done. You don't miss the running. You don't necessarily miss the practice. You miss the time that you get to spend with your brothers. So being able to spend that time with those guys and having a good back and forth, it was awesome. But just seeing Detroit though, walking down that stage, whew, man, I've never seen that before. That sea of people, 275,000, however many it was. Man, I really couldn't tell where I was in Detroit because there's so many people out there.
It looked so intense and so fun, like a concert. It just looked amazing. And you got your wish too, not just hanging out with your boys again, but your wish for the Lions was to beef up the defense, Calvin. And they did that. 2 corners in a row. Terry and Arnold, my favorite. And then they get Wingo, all of that. So Terrian and Mackay, came on my show. They were amazing. I loved getting to know them. It's like the human side of them, which is what I care about the most. I've heard great things about both and everybody that they took. What is the review of the 2024 Lions draft, according to Calvin Johnson?
And, I'm happy. Like you said, you already said you started off like the way they started off the draft. I was excited they were able to, shore up that back end, solidify that, any kind of leakage happening. Not saying that there was, but just tighten that up. And we've seen young corners be able to come in this league and have success early. So I look forward to getting over there and meeting those guys myself, and looking forward to seeing those guys ball out.
Sorry, I couldn't hear the end. You guys can tweet the show at Up and Adam Show if you have any questions for Megatron. Yeah, Terry and Arnold, love him. Love that you guys are so welcoming of him. I think he's like the coolest guy in the entire draft. But this TikTok made me laugh. Okay, the message sort of struck me. He called Detroit the best situation. How cool is it that the Lions are being called the best situation when years ago, I mean, Taylor Lewan has said it. Gronk has said it on my show. Gronk, they told Gronk at one point they were going to trade him to the Lions, and he said, "I'll retire."
I mean, people came to Detroit when I was first got here to end their careers. That was what was said. It was like the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into Detroit, though, that's the end. But now, you have a young coach and Dan. You have a player coach. You have a ton of player coaches. Guys want to be in that. They want to be involved with that. They want to be, coached by somebody that's been there and done the things that they want to do. So, that kudos to what they're building here in Detroit and that staff and organization.
I didn't get to ask you last time before we continue with the draft stuff. I didn't get to ask you about Amon-Ra and his extension. And just as, the legend receiver you are, what do you think that means for this offense? And maybe just like specifically what he adds that makes him unique.
Yeah, you can't let a piece like that go, man. He's just Mr. Consistency. He is our number one. So you got to have that here. You got to have that on any offense. And it's just fortunate. You don't want to take for granted that we have somebody as consistent as him, especially they're playing with Goff. So that's beautiful. And we're gonna have other pieces to add on to other guys. We got other tools, on offense too. But you got to have that steady number one. And Amon-Ra, he is it for us.
I've asked you a lot of Detroit questions. Can I ask you one Chicago one?
We'll have at it.
Well, I just know I hit you with a lot of them before the draft, but the thought about him as a generational talent, Caleb Williams, and potential, and then getting a receiver, like it happened. He got Rome, he's got that, he's got Keenan, he's got DJ Moore, who puts up 1,000 yards with anybody throwing him the ball. What do you make of Caleb Williams' realistic expectations for this season?
Oh, man, everybody, thinks that, he could do it because we saw Stroud do it last year. He's like, oh, man, anybody could do it, but that's so hard what Stroud did last year to come out and have that kind of success and command. But I mean, he does have the opportunity. He has the potential. We could put it at that. He has the opportunity in front of him. Just to see what he does with that opportunity. It's not going to be easy because we have obviously the Lions standing in his way. Green Bay, they're coming together, and Minnesota's always. I mean, the division's tough. It's a tough division to have success, and you're going to get hit as a quarterback. So, just we'll have to see. I'm not going to say kudos to him or good luck to him because I just can't do that. But hey, you got to just hold on to the ball now. That's all I can say to you. Hold on to the ball.
What do you mean? He's got to hold on to the ball? Because the receivers can definitely hold on to the ball. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze. Who's the wide receiver one there?
I think you have to go with experience. Let experience take over there, and then as the young talent evolves, let that happen. Let that happen natural or organically.
I feel like they might have the best trio in the league. I guess you've got who's better, OBJ, Tyreek, and Jalen down with the Dolphins. I guess that would be the best trio.
That's pretty solid too. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Tua's got to get it going. Sean McVay, let's ask about Matt Stafford here. He said this weekend, we're taking it a year at a time. But as long as Matthew Stafford wants to be our quarterback, he'll be our quarterback. You know this quarterback. He's your quarterback. You know his work ethic. You know how much gas he has left, better than any of us. I am an idiot. I've been saying for years now he's done. I thought after the Super Bowl, it might be his last year. I can't believe that, he's been in the league since 2009. He was drafted 2 years after you. You hung it up in 2015. How many more seasons? How much more gas does he have left?
I know he could still play. How much does he have? I mean, he's looking better than he did when he played with us. Man, he's a little chubby when he was playing with us. Man, look at him; he's all slim and all that. But no, he's definitely taking care of himself. So I mean, as long as he's doing that, I mean, the quarterbacks, as long as you're getting taken care of, you're not hitting the ground too much. I mean, you really can play as long as you want, as long as you're taking care of your body too. So if his line is taking care of him, we'll see. If they're not taking care of him, sure, he might be ready. It will. It's not going to increase him to want to prolong his career there if he's not being taken care of by his offensive line.
Is there a wide receiver that went in the draft that you like there where they went a lot? Like you were like, he's going to ball out.
All right. Well, let's list off where they go. Where did they go? Harrison went to
Rome went to Chicago.
Went to Arizona.
Yeah.
Where did Neighbors go?
Cardinals.
Where did you say Neighbors go?
Malik Neighbors to the Giants.
He went to the Giants. I mean, I like Arizona for him being out there. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's a big opportunity for him in that quarterback out there. I see. I think he could definitely gonna lean on him.
I want to ask you. JJ Watt. Okay, so he said this weekend. He of course retired famously. He says this weekend he's gonna keep. Like, honestly, other than Calvin, you're like the last dude that ever freaking retired from the NFL, because these kids and Tom Brady and Gronk and now JJ Watt, like they retire but they don't. Then they keep the door open and they whatever. He's saying he's keeping the door a little bit open for return to the Texans. Okay, he said, that he might come back. Why is it so hard for guys to close the door completely, and why was it so easy for you?
Why is it so hard? I mean, it's a total change of lifestyle. I was looking forward to the time where I could go sit on my couch and not do anything because of the level of work that I put into it, because I wanted to start a family. I mean, my goals had changed, so unless you really, really change your goals or things that you want to do with your life and lifestyle, then, it's kind of hard to just stop doing something that you've been doing for your entire being if you've been playing sports your whole life.
Yeah, when I hear these stories about leaving the door open, and how hard it would be to train to get your body back, like what should I think? That they're just having, most players are just having a tough time doing it?
Well, I mean, if they feel like, for me, I can tell you my experience. Like I knew after my 8th year, I was like, man, this is too much for me to get back to be able to be the person and guy that I've been out there for all those years. It's going to be too much. The training, the level of training that I went through, I don't want to do it anymore. It hurts. It doesn't, it takes too much from me now. I don't enjoy it, and that's for them, I guess, that's the conscious decision that I guess has to be made. It's like, man, there's a level of work I have to put into it. Do I love it enough to do it?
Did you not love it enough?
I didn't want, I told myself when I started this thing, I'm not going to be the guy out there that's just out there collecting the check, because I could have been out there and just dragging along, but I want to be the guy that was making an impact. I couldn't be out there that wasn't me. I wouldn't love what I was doing. And if I don't love what I'm doing, I feel like that this is one industry or playing football. If you don't love what you're doing, that's how you get hurt playing out here.
Yeah, and that's why you're amazing, because you are who you are, and you've always stood on that, and you do things that you're passionate about, like Primitiv. So let's talk about this. Your CBD brand, you're killing it. You're everywhere. And now, what is this I hear about a Detroit Tigers partnership?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's part of our goal just to be able to work with professional organizations, professional athletes, put our products in their hands. And, to get to this point, there's a lot of work to be able to get to the point to be able to get your NSF for sport, get that global nod to be able to work with professional collegiate athletes. But we undertook that journey, somewhat about a year ago, understanding what we needed to do to get here. And, we felt like it was important for us to be able to, still remove the stigma from, just plant medicine and cannabis and cannabinoids in general. And that's why we're here, because there's a lot of power in this plant. And we're excited to be able to launch, this product in our transdermal topical, with the Detroit Tigers and to spread the news, and working with other professional athletes and teams, to come in the future.
This is huge. Your CBD brand, something that when you were still playing was so stigmatized, just the three letters were like shocking, no, whatever. Your brand that you created has a partnership with an official MLB team. You are approved by all the big boys at the big table. Like Goodell's got to listen to the CBD talk, and it's like welcomed. And now it's like working in partnership to help protect the players, which was your goal the entire freaking time. It is amazing watching your dreams sort of come into fruition before your eyes. Congratulations on that partnership. I can't imagine that was easy to do, and it took a long time to make happen. And I know that I just heard about this Catching Dreams weekend for your foundation. Okay, there's a scholarship involved, there's a football camp, and there's a golf tournament. I'm trying to go out there, but Calvin, I'm not going to golf. So like, what else? Beer cart girl. I was bartender. How can I help?
I mean, you don't have to golf. You just come and look pretty. People will love your conversation. People watch your show, so people will just love you. I tell people all the time that don't golf, it's just really just a camaraderie at the end of the day. It's just the connections that are made. So, whether you're golfing or not, that's great. Somebody will don't worry, somebody will take your shot. Don't worry, just get somebody an extra shot. And, I told you, last time you said, if I can maybe entice you, if I get you one of the pink little crop top jokes. So I got plenty of them for you. I got plenty of things for you, just come on up.
Okay, I'm going to come out because it's for such a good cause. As long as I don't have to golf, because I'll be like the shot that's on the tee. I'll just do like what you said. I'll just look pretty. I'll get everybody really drunk for you, so they open up their pocket and you start writing those checks for your foundation. Calvin, you're the absolute best, and I'll see you. When is that? July?
The whole weekend is July 13th through the 15th. We have on the 13th we'll have my gala. I have my free camp on the 14th, and then on Monday the 15th is the golf tournament.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to work it out so that I'm out there. Maybe we'll do the show from there. Who knows? We appreciate you, Calvin. Thank you so much. You're the best. Congrats on all the exciting stuff with Primitiv.
Appreciate you supporting our cause. It's much appreciated.